What up, what up? This your man Betty Bob, just chronicling some events that took place in my life back in the day during my times in the stoops. When I say stoops, I'm referring to the county jail, prison, YA, juvenile hall, all that when I was locked up. Uh, this particular time, I'm going to label this a loss for the home team. Uh, it happened back in 99. Yeah, I was I had went to jail for some petty ass possessions. This was back during the point of my life when my cripping wasn't as prevalent because I was using drugs. I was under heavy drug use. I was a fallen soldier. My priorities wasn't intact, and so when I was out there, I was sloppy. Got caught with some crack. This African had a hard on. He had a hard on for us. We was rolling up Pico on the west side, and this dude told me when I seen him last, he was an African Nigerian dude, worked for Southwest. He said, "Look, if I see you again, you going to jail." And sure enough, I had fell out, and you know, uh, shit. It just so happened I was rolling, and motherfucker gonna pull us over, and shit. He searched the car real good, and shit, nigga went to jail. So while I was in there fighting it and shit, uh, I lost, and I already had one strike. So I thought the worst was gonna happen, you know. But I always like to credit and thank the Most High. You know what I'm saying? Because I think what happened was he showed mercy. I seen mercy because by all right, I was supposed to get 9 years with 80% for losing that case. When you got a strike, they be trying to do a mandatory prior back then. And what had happened was they just went on and treated me like I was a first timer or whatever. They gave me fucking 2 years with jelly. When I say jelly, that means halftime. And I know it was God. I know because back then, if you had any kind of violence on your record and you went to jail, they was trying to something like they was trying to enact the maximum sentences guidelines and shit. But it was God. I know it was. And so what happened was I went on and took the two because I lost. I blew the trial. I lost. They found me guilty. So I'm like, damn. I'm just knowing, like I said, I'm just knowing they're gonna give me that 9 with the 80%. Because I had that strike. I had a violent crime in my past. And so what happened was this: was they I went back to court, and when it was time for the sentencing phase, and my attorney was like, "We're gonna give you. They're gonna give you. Recommending you do the, 2 years with a, halftime." So me knowing how to do time by then, I'm tickled by the idea that nigga I got some get back and that I'm gonna be out soon. That 2 years ain't that much. I could do that, and I could do it standing on my head. And this is the kind of mentality that I thought. This is how I used to perceive my life and time and all that. Right? I'm not thinking that these 2 years, which is probably about 14 months, is what you're gonna do if you don't fuck up. It's gonna be some part of your time that you ain't gonna get back. So that's really the first loss. The biggest loss for the home team is I lost that trial, and I had to go back upstate, and I had got my second number. It was It was a P number. My first number, when I went and done some time, it was a H number. Now you got cats, you know, they got B numbers, C numbers. You know, that's the 80s. The B numbers is the 70s. And D numbers is the 80s, the end of the 80s. E number is the end of the 80s. And then you got what you call H numbers, which is the early 90s. I had an H number and discharged that. Got back in trouble because of my drug use, and you know, I went back. So I got this fresh new number. I got a new beef. So I gotta go through the, you know, when you get a new commitment and catch a new case, you have to go back through the system again. So what happened was, yeah, I had got the 2 years, and I asked the judge to forthwith, or a minute order is what we call that. That means no brakes, all gas. Just hurry up and you know, send me to the pen. I don't want to be waiting in the county for no 3-4 weeks for the state to come pick me up. Nowadays, you don't go to the pen for with no 2 years. You sit in that county and rot. But back then, you would get 2 years or even 16 months. They used to do sentencing like 16, 2, and 3 on certain categories and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? On minimum smaller crimes, 16 and 2. The minimum amount of time that you can do to go to prison is 16 months in California. I don't know by now. It might have changed. It might be a year. I don't think so. I think it's still, if you do a prison term, it has to be 16 minimum, 16 months on up. So I had to hop on that 2 years that they gave me. I was tickled by the idea that they didn't sting me. They didn't touch me like I thought they was gonna touch me. And so, sure enough, I went up there. I caught the chain. When we say catch the chain, what we talking about is when that gray goose bus come to the county jail, and you jump in that red jumpsuit. I think it's a paper jumpsuit now, and you know, you taking that ride up to the prison, and they processing you in. And so at that time, they took me to the Wasco State Prison, because that is the new reception center for the southern inmates who are getting processed into the system. So I went, you know, I rolled up there and shit, you know, and I got up there. I had been to Wasco before, you know, I've been to Wasco years ago, so I had, you know, I knew the deal. I knew how, you know, I knew how to program, you know, and in my head I was like, it's gonna be a sweet deal, and for the most part it was. It's crazy how that is. And so all the time that I'm in there, what happened was, you know, when you're in the reception center, it's only supposed to be about 2-3 months that you sit there, you know, or less. But what happened was they had this in the sunlight, sun moving. Yeah, there we go. They had this epidemic. It was an epidemic, man. It was I think it was a chicken pox epidemic. You know, they always, this shit is always passing through there. You know, different diseases. That's another thing about the state, is your ass will get sick because you're around all these funky ass inmates from all over the world. You know, that come from different countries and shit. And when they go to jail, they be bringing their shit, they diseases and shit. You know. And it was the outbreak of the chicken pox. And so what happened was the people that was in our reception center, they locked that shit down. So it took every bit of 4 months. But while I was in there, you know, we had to make the most of it. And that's what we did. And it's a funny thing, right? I remember being on one of the it was one of them, I can't remember, but back then they had the, I think it was the 180 building where everything is like wrapped around. It's 2 tiers, 2 or 3 tiers. It's been so long, man. I don't do jail no more. It's been 20 years, 20 plus years since '99. That was about 24 years ago. Yeah, but anyway, what happened was, yeah, I had I had was I called myself aligning myself with the youngsters and shit, young black dudes, from various parts of LA. And I'm not gonna say that I was the driver of the car because I don't like to paint myself in that such a light, but I will say that I had a influence based on my experience from doing time and just knowing, how to carry myself. So they took a liking to me and shit. And one day, I remember what happened was this youngster, he was from 46 neighborhood. Yeah, he used to be kind of loud and rambunctious. And I would tell him, man, a lot of times, you know, I mean, I don't try to change nobody, but I would try to tell them to kill game. You doing too much, man. That's not how we move, man. You too loud. You gonna draw attention and you gonna cause something to happen. You too loose. This ain't juvenile hall. And I remember him roaring up at me the first time. I said, all right. I took it on the chin. All right. But now, the second time, what had happened was we was playing board games, cards or something like that. And these were early lessons that I knew better. Usually I don't play too many board or chess, but usually I don't play poker. I don't do that because it's jinky and it's complicated, and you may have to stab you a motherfucker or demonstrate on them to the least. And when I say demonstrate, I'm talking about putting hands on them, or even poking them, whatever the severity of whatever the violation is how you mete out the punishment. So this youngster, he had already roared up at me and all that, and I laughed it off or whatever. But this second time, he was in my business, and it was totally uncalled for. So I slapped him. Pow! You know what I'm saying? And when I slapped him, I said, well, fuck it. I'm going to go on back to my cell because it was a bunch of commotion because the nigga had got emotional and shit, But I wasn't in a position to just take off on him because I didn't want to get in trouble. Some of you niggas that got all day and, because the pen is serious, but I just wanted to get away with that. I didn't want to. If it was gonna be a fight, then yeah, hell yeah, we going down. Or if it's gonna be whatever it is, it's gonna go down. But sometimes you can just finesse a play and see if they want to do a little something else. If they just being hysterical and emotional, you don't even trip. And so that's what happened. I had slapped the nigga. He was hollering, but he didn't want no more. So, I just removed myself from the situation, you know what I'm saying, and went back to my cell. So something happened, whereas I ended up getting transferred across the way. I don't know. Oh, yeah, that's what happened. The fucking pandemic came days later where they made an announcement that, everybody here is going to be here for a minute because there's a pandemic that's underway. And until we get the population stabilized and pinpoint, where it's at, then, this is what it's going to be. And so it turned out to be almost 5 months that I stayed in Wasco. But what happened was they transferred me across the way, into the other building because there's two buildings like that. Up in Wasco and the reception, there's two buildings. And I think it's either a 3-tier or either a 3 tier or a 2 tier. It's been a while, and it's like a full circle upstairs and downstairs. It's not straight. It's like a it's like an octangular. You know how a 180 is a circular. Where you can wrap around, maybe like a square, something like that. It's been a while, but it's you got one side, and then you walk so far to one side, and then it cuts off and bends, and you bend a corner, and you walk so far that way, and then you bend another corner. It's a 180, and so I remember being in there, and word travel fast. The niggas, somebody had told somebody that I had slapped somebody, and so what it was they was watching me now, right? I mean, really ain't nothing, man, but once again, we playing these board games, and we be playing cards, and sometimes when you beating a nigga, you playing pinochle or something like that, and I'm knuckling this nigga, right? Getting all the milk, you know what I'm saying? Cashing in, you know what it is with that knuckle. That's that prison card game. So I'm knuckling this nigga, talking shit, and he don't know how to handle it, but he trying to play it off. So the game ends. It's time for count time. You go back to your cell or whatever, and okay, so I know what it was. See, I be forgetting. I'm thinking, was this a dorm? No, it was. Oh, it was sales. But it just so happened we was out. It was in the day room. That's what it was. Getting ready to be count. It's in Wasco, and sure enough, I was going. I was headed to the. I went to the pisser. The pisser is the bathroom, and as I was taking a leak, the nigga walked beside me, unbeknown that he got some kind of grudge. I don't know, but when he pulled up beside me, I tuck my I tuck my dick because I'm pissing, and I finish. I shake my dick and I finish. He acting like he pissing or whatever, and then the next thing you know, nigga, I get blam like pow. Nigga still on me. I mean, he catch me real good. I mean, nigga, I seen blue flashes. Nigga, I ain't got hit like that in a minute. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm trying to shake it off. So we swinging. I'm swinging. He hit me 2 good times. And then I connect one time, but he get the best of me. But the police come, they get to spraying, they're like, down. And they get up and run up on us, and, them was one of them kind of situations. They didn't really intervene. They just started spraying the pepper spray. And, he laid down and I laid down because nigga didn't want to get shot behind that right there. Sometimes when you fighting in a mutual combat and they tell you get down and they right up on you, if they want to, they can shoot you. So when he stopped, I was emotional and shit. I went on to stop because you know what I'm saying. I ain't got that much time. He did what he did. I'm gonna go on to take that. But sometimes it be like that for the home team. You gonna take an L. And this was my first L ever in prison. And so when I got to my cell, I was all, because they put us in a cage after the little situation happened. They put us in. This when they take you outside, they put you in a cage and they do a little incident report. I ain't had nothing to say. You know what I'm saying? They asked me why we was fighting. I don't know. I don't know what happened. I just know I was, one of them things. That's, you don't talk to the police and be trying to rationalize a reason. You don't talk to the police. If they catch you doing something, you just, shrug it off and try to make it, you know, uh, make it what it is. Nothing. And so they took us and separated us, moved us. I went somewhere else. He went somewhere else. And shit, nigga. Next thing you know, I look in the mirror, nigga. My eye is black. I'm like, damn. But I healed up. You know what I'm saying? For about 2 weeks or whatever, I healed up. And it ain't no thing. And what I'm saying is, you really don't know what you made of until someone has assailed upon you, or you are on the bad side of a situation. It's not always when you get a win from knocking a nigga out, rolling your sleeves up, and chunking his lights out that makes you that motherfucker. I mean, it's cute and all that. It's cool to always be on the giving end of an ass whooping, but sometimes it be like that for the home team. And this was one of them times where, sure enough, he called me slipping, dope-fiend me while I was in the pisser, and because of it, I had to learn. I had to learn to watch niggas. You never know who will be at, have some kind of feel some kind of way, especially when over a little card game and you whooping them niggas ass. And so that was the thing that taught me. Did I stop playing board games and all that? Hell no. I still played chess, but I was a little bit more pickier about who I played pinochle with. Especially on the yard. I would play racehorse with my celly. Racehorse is a two-man pinochle. Yeah, so that's it for now. Maybe a little later on, I'll give you a little something else. But that's the L that I took the last time that I went to prison and shit. You know what I'm saying? Right. Salute. If you like that story, do me a favor and press that like. Leave a comment. Fuck up the algorithms. Give me some support. We all we got, right? Yep. Appreciate you. If you're white, black, Hispanic, whatever, thanks for coming onto my channel and viewing it. Now leave some evidence. Hit that like for me. Peace.